Hello everyone, I am Pristila Anita from First MCOM in KCS Kasinadar College. We are going to see industrial relation labor welfare. In this subject, the topic I am going to explain about the meaning of industrial relations, objectives and functional requirements of a successful industrial relation program. First of all, I'll explain the meaning of industrial relation. Industrial relation refers to a relationship between the employers and employees. It also refers to a field of study that examines these types of relationships, especially group of workers in unions. It is a relationship between the employers and employees. It is a study that especially on group of workers in unions. Unions is nothing but trade unions. Next we are going to see about objectives of industrial relations. The first point is to avoid industrial conflict or strife and develop harmonious relations. A conflict is nothing but disagreement or dissatisfaction among the employees. The strife also the same meaning. The industrial relation is maintained to avoid these types of problems. The second point is to raise productivity to a higher level in a full employment by lessening the high turnover and frequency absenteeism. In this point, they are trying to tell the raise the production is not a product production, it's a productivity of a full employment by reducing the high turnover of employees. High turnover of employees, no, the employee will not change from one job to another job, and regular absenteeism. The third point is to eliminate or minimize the number of strikes, lockouts by providing reasonable wages. In this point, the industrial relation another objective is to eliminate strikes, lockouts by providing decent wages to their labor. Next one we are going to see about functional requirements of a successful industrial relation program. The first point is top management support. Second one, sound personnel policies. Third one, adequate practices should be developed by professionals. A fourth one, detailed supervisory training. A fifth one, follow up of results. First point, top management support. Since industrial relation is a functional soft service, it must be necessarily derive its authority from the line organization. This is ensured by providing that the industrial relations director should report to a top line authority to the president, chairman, or vice president of an organization. In this point, it tells that an industrial relation is a functional staff service and the authority will be derived from the line organization like top line authority to the president, chairman, or vice president of an organization. Second point is sound personnel policy. This constitutes the business philosophy of an organization and guide it in arriving at its human relations decisions. The purpose of such policy is to decide before any emergencies arises what shall be done about the large number of problems which crop up every day during the working of an organization. Policies can be successful only when they are followed at all the level of the enterprise from top to bottom. Personnel means the employees. The purpose of policies to precautious before the problem arise. The third point is adequate practices should be developed by professionals in this field to assist in the implementation of the policies of an organization. A system of procedures is essential if intention is to be properly translated into action. The procedures and the practices of an industrial relations department are the tool of management which enables the professors to keep at their office job, that of the timekeeper, rate adjuster, grievances reporter, and merit rater. In this point, it tells us the supervisor should be a timekeeper, rate adjuster, grievances reporter. Grievances is nothing but a complaint. He should collect the complaint from the employees and they should tell that complaint to the top management. Also a merit rater. The fourth point is detailed supervisory training. To ensure the organizational policy and practices are properly implemented and carried into effect by the industrial relations staff, job supervisors should be trained thoroughly so that they may convey to the employees the significance of those policy and practices. They should moreover be trained in leadership and in communications. In this point, it tells us to implement the policy and practice, first of all, the supervisor should know about the policy and practices. By this, they can explain their employees about the policy and practices. They should get a training of leadership quality and the communication quality. The last point is follow up of results. A constant review of an industrial relations program is essential so that existing practices may be properly evaluated and a check may be exercised on certain undesirable tendencies should they manifest themselves. A follow up of turnover, absenteeism, departmental moral, employee grievances and suggestion, wage administration, etc., should be supplemented by continuous research to ensure that the policies that have been perceived are best filtered to company needs and employee satisfaction. Hints of problem areas may be found in exist interviews, in trade unions demands and in management meetings as well as in formal social science research. In this point, we can understand the supervisor will follow up the turnover. It should be absenteeism, departmental moral, employee grievances, and the suggestions, wage administration, etc. These are the works carried out by the supervisor. It should be a continuous research. They should make a continuous research on this type of works, and they should make sure that whether the policy fit to their company needs as well as the employee satisfaction. I hope you all understand this topic. Thank you for watching this video.